What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of George Reviews. I am the 80s Transformer fan. Today on George Reviews, we'll be taking a look at Gargoyles Goliath Ultimate Action Figure from NECA. Recently, I've been trying to take a look at figures that I haven't taken a look at before, visiting new properties, and also getting some figures out of storage and up onto my shelf. I just created some new shelf space because you might be wondering, like, where are these reviews coming from? If you are a subscriber to my channel, I'm just basically trying to not only explore new content, but get some figures out of the box and onto the shelf. So on to the review. This is NECA's packaging for the Goliath wave. It's like a book style packaging. On the front of the box is some artwork from Goliath, not necessarily from the cartoon. I don't believe these are cartoon based, but we'll take a look at that. But it's Goliath on a rooftop, ironically enough, with a gargoyle underneath him. And you can see, I guess it's New York City in the background. Some pretty cool artwork right there. It says Goliath Ultimate Action Figure. Side of the box is the product shot of the figure within Gargoyles. The NECA logo right there. The back of the box, more of the same. On the bottom of the box, it says includes book, pepper, interchangeable head and hands. Has a little bit of a bio up here for Goliath. You can pause it, read that, check that out. Side of the box, same thing. When you open up the front flap, you can see Goliath clearly within a window. Packaged with his accessories, 3 additional hands, a book, the pepper that the back of the box spoke about, an interchangeable head. You can see his wings in the background and a bendy tail up front. So we are going to get Goliath open and take a closer look at these items. Okay, let's see where we can get in the box. All right, I'm going to slip the tape right here. And is that just one piece of tape? Wow. Open it from the top. Now, I waited forever for this guy to go on clearance. Like, he came out like over a year ago. I just knew he was going to be clearance. I first saw him at Target, and every Target I went to, they had a few Goliaths in stock, like at every Target, and I just knew he was going to go on clearance. Okay, there are 2 clams. The back clam has these huge wings, and here is Goliath, but I just want to show the inside of the packaging. It is a city backdrop. I don't know if it's meant to be a diorama. Is it meant to come out? Nope, that is just... Oh, no, it does come out. So I guess this is a bit of a diorama. And you can pose your Goliath figure right here. Nothing further in the box. But yeah, I totally waited for this guy to go on clearance. And he never did. I got a few dollars off of him on Amazon. I bought mine on Amazon. I don't even know if you would call it a clearance. It was more of a price break or whatever. And I got like $5 off of them. I think I paid like $38 or something for this guy. So I finally got him. Let's check him out. I've had him for like 3 months now. So let's get him out of the clam and check him out. Massive feet. Alright, I'm having trouble standing this guy up. Oh, it's going to take me a second to get used to these feet, man. I'm having a little bit of trouble standing them up, but let's continue the unboxing presentation. Bendy tail. Extra angry head. Then they have a cover for the small accessories. Get them all at one time. We have the book, the fist, and the pepper. And for the wings, these things are massive. They are hard. These things are very hard. Wow. I mean, they're not flexible at all. If you drop these, they could crack and break. Oh my goodness. They should have made them softer than this. Alright, before I get Goliath assembled, I just want to say, getting this guy to stand is no small feat. Get it? No small. Yeah, because of the way he stands, man. Like, no figure I've ever posed before. I've had Talon. I've had, like, demon feet. But he just stands on, like, these front paw type pad pieces. And you got to kind of bend the legs and everything to get him to balance. Yeah, either I'm just not used to it or what. But it's not easy trying to get him to stand. So let's get him assembled. I think I'm going to start with the tail. It's a bendy tail. You can see the standard bendy holes when there's a wire within something. And we're gonna plug it right here. No jokes. There's a port right there and the peg right here. We're just gonna get it in there and keep it rolling. And there's a hinge on it too. It hinges and bends. So move his loincloth out of the way. Again, no jokes. All right, and it's proving to be a little bit difficult. Might need to heat it up. I don't know. Alright, I got it in there. So there's the tail. And this probably will help him stand. I mean, I'm pretty damn sure this is going to help him stand. I'll save the bending for the rest of the review. So now we got to get his wings on. This is his right wing. And there is the port for the wing right there, built in there. Looks like a little ratcheting system going around there. Let's get this wing in. And this is a hard wing. I don't like this. Because like I mean that click too, when it breaks it's over. You need new wings. You got to buy a new figure. Like they could have made it softer like the tail. And again, a secondary port right here. And I'm just going to push it in. And here we go, but they look spectacular. They look spectacular. Alright, I can't even get them all in frame with the wings. I got to pull back, pick up the tripod. They look spectacular. It kind of makes sense for them to be hard like this. That way they don't sag while they're posed up like this. I mean, that really looks good. Really looks good. Alright everybody, we're just going to agree that this toy is not going to be in frame for most of the review. Like, at least not the whole thing. So we're going to bring him forward, take a look at Goliath's face. He has... looks like black eyes. See the whites of his eyes. Very detailed face. Looks very good. Has the pointed ears. Has like a little bit of a wash over him, like with a darker purple over this lighter purple. It goes over his muscles, bringing out the highlights and details. There, all over the figure. Even going underneath his feet, toenails, everything on this thing. He's wearing what is supposed to be like a leather tunic with a giant belt and gold belt buckle on it. Like, who made the belt? And the little leather thing, it looks very leathery. Has some paint details on it to bring that out, to make it look even more leathery. It's tattered in a few places. Around to the back. It looks good all the way around. They didn't spare details going around it. That looks good. He's rippling with muscles. I mean, this guy is cut. Taking a look at the wings further, you see veins in there, a whole lot of shading detail going on, some paint apps. Looks very good. They look like equal opposites of each other, like the just flipped over molding. There's nothing to make them stand out, to make you think to yourself that they're two totally different wings. They look like they just flipped the mold over or whatever. But a good looking figure overall. Is that some stamping under there? I can't see it. It's too small. Some wrinkles under his feet. I mean, they really didn't have to do that. And the 2 feet are different, I guess, because the stamping's right here. Looks like a peg hole for a figure stand. This guy, I didn't see one in the box. He damn sure could use one. I guess with the tail, he can stand up with the tail no matter what. If you just position that correctly, or maybe not. Hold on. I know it's bendy, but he's going to stand up with that tail no matter what. Yep, bam. But yeah, I mean, look at this guy. Muscles. He looks great. But back to the head. Let's do some articulation. Because of the wings, because I added the wings, the articulation is going to be hindered with the hair, because it's draped right on top of the wings back here. And I don't feel like taking them off, so we just going to have the hinder articulation for the head. We can look down this far. Bam. Which is great, and not a whole lot up. Now the hair is kind of soft actually, so we may be able to look up. Okay, he can look up this far. The hair is actually softer than I thought. Well, I'm pretty sure the 360. Yep, you got to bring the hair around and some side to side. So it's very functional. Yes, indeed. All right, we're going to take a look at the arms. Because of his shoulder muscles, the deltoids can only come up this far. And they're not rotating a lot. I probably could push it past or more but I don't want to force it. That awesomely sculpted bicep and tricep right there. Again, 360. A lot of detail, nice paint. Elbow bend, not a whole lot out of that. Unfortunately, I guess it's due to the side. I don't know. I might be able to push it. Yep. I just didn't force it enough, trying not to break the figure. I don't want to break my figures doing these reviews, so I don't really go hard. Or try not to. So coming to his wrist, 360, because it's interchangeable, it should 360. And it hinges in and out. He has 4 fingers and a thumb. They're done very well. You can see palm impressions in there, palm lines. Individual digits going on, the claws and veins. Looks very good in his hands. Coming down to his abdomen, this guy is ripped. He is ripped. Get this much out of the ab crunch coming down. Going back, it's a whole lot, but you get this separation right there. Kind of looks like it's off-centered. Maybe I got it off-centered, yep. And then he actually has a waist articulation down here inside this little skirt piece. Completely 360 right there. Coming to his legs. Back him up. His legs this wide, which is excellent. I was not expecting that. Barbell joint in there. And it's painted over for whatever reason. And it's coming off right here. Paint is. Front leg this far. Or he gets leg this far to the front and this far to the back, which is excellent. We got a full action figure here. Thigh swivel right here on that joint there. And a full 360, even though we don't really need all of that, but I'm just trying to show it off. Has a hidden knee hinge right here with the flap over it, which is nice. Get it back this far, and does it rotate? It actually rotates at the knee right there. And then this freaky foot and ankle hinge. The ankle or whatever it is, it hinges right here, standard action figure style. It rotates right there. Then he has this foot hinge. It's unique to gargoyle feet right here, which is weird and poses a challenge when you're trying to stand this guy up. And I could just imagine trying to get him in other poses. But yeah, let me show you the paint chipping off from whatever this is underneath, which is why they painted that. I don't know. I was wondering where it was coming from. Why they painted this joint in here, I mean, I'll never understand. Maybe they painted it when it was assembled. I don't know, but that's kind of weird. And I got it all down here. Alright, now I'm going to try to take a look at the wing articulation. And it scares me because it is so hard. They just plug in. They should do a full 360. And you can hear, well, you got one ratchet out of it. I guess they ratchet going up and down on this hinge. Oh, and that is so scary. But they're fully 360 right there. And they move around in a flapping motion. But that is so loud, so scary. We're not going to completely go into that, but they move. We'll just leave it at that. I don't even want to try it, man. But they can flap up and down if you wanted to get them like that, and they hold their posing in whatever position you choose to get them in, which is cool, man. That looks so awesome. That right there, I got my money's worth. That boom. Put this guy on the top of a display case just like this. Alright, we're going to check out the interchangeable hands. He comes with the Boston Strangler hands, like, oh, choke the out of you. These hands right here, which look amazing. Pop these hands out. Well, one came out easily enough. That one's out. Standard little peg. There's nothing special going on here for these hands. They're closed fists. Very well detailed. They look great. One fist in, second fist in, boom. Now we got closed hands and he can sock the heck out of somebody. And they have the same articulation. I mean, it's an interchangeable hand. It's a 360 because it pops in and out, and he has a hinge in there. And so I'm going to pop this one out because he has a semi-open left hand. Right here, bam, bam. And this hand's, I believe this hand's sole purpose is to hold this jalapeno pepper. Get this jalapeno in his hand, and bam. This comes from an episode of Gargoyles where he tried a jalapeno pepper and he put it in his mouth and he yelled out jalapeno. or whatever, and then forever it's like a cuss word now. It's like holy sh or whatever. So they use the term jalapeno as a cuss word, which is kind of cool. And here it is in his hand, and it's done. It has 2 paint apps on it. It has a matte lighter green, and then for the little stem right here, a darker green. Looks pretty good. They could have just splashed it with all green and been done with it, but it looks like what it's meant to be, a jalapeno. And I'm curious to see how he holds this book. I guess he's going to have to halfway open-hand it or whatever, because he holds this book. I can't remember exactly which book this is. I probably should have Googled it. But, you know, they were always breaking out books and figuring out spells and things in the past and all that. And it's upside down, the right side up. I think this right side up, it has some language on it. I think it's just gibberish or whatever. Just scribbling on the pages. This might be actually from the cartoon. I don't know. I didn't check it out. You can see like little pages detail in it, which is pretty cool. Little binder, bottom of the book. Leather bound. Little damage on it. Nice little detailing in this. NECA never lets you down with detailing. Alright, so I believe the goal is to get him to basically mostly hold it with this hand and sort of kind of act like he's holding it with this hand as well. Yeah, because the right hand is just kind of like pretending like it's holding it or whatever, and the left hand's doing all the work. And with the articulation in the head movement, in the neck area, he can look down in the book and look like he's reading directly from this book. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Okay, his last accessory is his extra head. It is an angry style head. And I only know Goliath from the Disney animated series. I don't know any other incarnations of the gargoyles other than that. So I don't know if this head is meant to depict something else, but in the cartoon, the eyes would glow. I don't know if these are just whited out eyes, but I think this is the glowing eyes like from the cartoon. You can see painted tongue in his mouth. It's kind of curled up, looks pretty good. His gums and teeth are painted. Looks pretty good. And this is like an angry or powering up face or whatever. All the details follow over from the other head. They even went so far as to sculpt the hairs underneath the reverse side of the hair, which you really don't see much when it's on the toy, but that detailing is in there. The same type of wash over it to highlight the details in the hair. Looks good. See how easy it is to pop his head off and pop his head on. Yep, on a ball peg right there, joint in there. See if it goes on and stays on easily. Yep, pop right on there. And I'm sure it's the same scope, so pretty much no articulation. And this one wing that I played with now wants to sag down. Probably should have just left the damn thing alone. Trying to give it a full review or whatever, but here's the secondary head. Looks good. Okay, I want to put Goliath next to the cartoon model because the cartoon is the only format that I know of the gargoyles from. I never read the comic book. I'm assuming this rip take is a take on the comic books, but again, I'm used to the animation. Like it's drawn like Batman the animated series where they're bulky and a lot of detail is left out. Don't get me wrong, I love this Rip guy. But it would have been cool to get the animation version. I wonder if they'll come out. NECA will drop that later on. But I think this is based on the comic books. I never read them, never really checked them out. But I know NECA just didn't make this up out of the blue. So now it's time to give Goliath the size up and rundown. We're going to do this wingspan style. Marvel Legends Archangel. Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Vulture, still not complete. Transformers Masterpiece Starscream. Super 7's Mum-Ra the Ever Living. Not wings, but still close enough. Fellow Rooftop Prowler Batman from McFarlane's Batman the Animated. Here he is with McFarlane's Man-Bat. Last Wing Warrior Granomir from Mattel Master of the Universe Classics. I'm really enjoying this figure. It took a second to try to get him to stand with his feet in this unique gargoyle type werewolf like toe and foot articulation thing without the tail touch. He can balance good with the tail, but I really wanted to get him to stand naturally without it, and I was able to do that. I had to play around with it, had to find like where it locks at and how you do the legs, but I was able to get it done. Speaking of the tail, I don't think I went over the tail. It is a bendy tail. You can tell by the holes in it, and you can bend it up pretty good. And you can get it to support his weight, and you can bend and curl it up about that much. So that is cool, and it articulates at the port where it ports in. It will 360, and then there's a hinge on it that lets it go up and down. So that's really cool. Very well done right there. All right, and now I want to give my final thoughts on this figure. The sculpt is amazing. NECA knocked this out of the park. The paint apps over the body, the look of like the loincloth, the giant buckle, the wings are fantastic. Everything is fantastic about this figure except for the hair, neck area, and the wings. You really can't have him look up with the wings on his back. I mean, you can move the hair, you can bend it up, but then it's going to like flap back down, eventually reform into place and kind of put the wings back down. Then the wings themselves are so scary. Like moving them like straight up and down, there's really no problem there. In fact, mine is starting to get loose from the hair pushing on them, and they're sagging. This is just during the review. So I can just imagine with some real playwear over time. I believe this is an adult collectible. The package says 14 and up, so I guess it's not designed to really be played with like with a little child, but I can see the wings drooping down over time. And to get them like in a flapping position, man, they crack with that plastic. It's a very rigid plastic, and you hear that cracking sound. It scares me every time. And I kind of like them cocked back some, like they're about to flap, but it's scary moving them around. But other than that, it's a very solid figure, very well sculpted. It's different than the cartoon animation I'm used to. Like I said earlier, I think they pulled it from the comic book version, but it still looks good. It's still definitely Goliath without a doubt. They wouldn't even have to have a name on the box for me to recognize who it was. I grabbed it, happy to have it. I got a couple more reviews coming at you, but that's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching another episode of George Reviews. The reviews of every toy has a story.